so now I want to talk to you about exporting photos from Lightroom. So, we have not talked about how to retouch the photos in Lightroom, and we will very soon. But, I want to finish the library module, and for me, the library module has to do with exporting. So we did retouch this photo, and let's say I want to export it. Now, there's so many ways you can export photo, but the best and easiest way is you right-click, you click on Export, and you got two options, export and export with previews. I love the way, I think one of the reasons that I came into Lightroom in the first place was the ability to export really fast and this amazing option called export with previews. Let me explain. Let me explain to you. So here I am into the export, and I'm not gonna go into every single thing, there's so much, but the idea is this. I'll tell you what I use. So let's say I've retouched a whole bunch of photos and I want to send them by email, or I want to send them to a customer and I want to send them like small definition and high definition. That's what I used to do a lot when I used to shoot hotels, is give like a folder, once I'm done and they paid for the photos, I give them a small definition, basically like a web, version, and a high definition. Let's take that example. I think it's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and basically, well, let's see. First, let's prepare some photos. I'm going to export this one. I'm going to give a 4-star to this one and a 4-star to this one. Okay. So I'm going to select by 4-star. I got 3 photos and I want to export them in small and in large definition. So I'm going to select all 3 using the shift key and the first and the last photo, right click, export. So the first thing as I'm going to choose is I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to create a folder called customer, for example, okay? And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to export them as a high definition. So I'm going to put a subfolder here. I'm not going to use add to this catalog. I'm going to take that off. Add to this catalog means you're exporting something and you're re-importing it at the same time, which is very rare to use. So I'm just going to use put in subfolder. I'm going to call this one high resolution, okay? I can rename if I want the photos. I'm not going to do it on this. Well, let's do it actually. So you got a whole different ways of renaming. The one I use the most is custom name sequence. So this one I'm going to call Paris, for example. So custom name sequence means that, well, the first photo is going to be Paris 1, the second photo is going to be Paris 2, and then Paris 3. And if you want to start at a different number, you can start at 5, and now the first photo is going to be Paris 5, Paris 6, Paris 7. But I don't see why, so I'm going to put Paris 1. Video, this is not a video. Now here comes the magic. File settings. Now usually when I export high definition photo, I put them at like 97, like between 90, I put it at 100, because if you put them at 100, it's going to add some unneeded data that you don't really need, you will never use. So even when I print with some galleries, I give them like 90 JPEG, 90%. It's good enough. Color space is RGB. That's the regular color space for is RGB. Color space is just the way the color are interpreted. That's all you need to know for now. And then resize to fit. I'm not going to resize them because I want them to have high definition. Okay, so I'm going to click on export. But now check this out. I took all this time to do these settings. I can right click here, export, and while it's doing it, I can now create another folder, call it low resolution. Okay, and here in JPEG at image resizing, I can click this, and I always use the option of long. You can use short edge, long edge. I always use the long edge. Long edge means is whatever is the longest edge. For example, if it's a portrait photo, it's going to be the height. It's a landscape photo, it's going to be the width. So, for example, long edge. When I export for the web, I usually give 2,000 pixels wide, and then the quality doesn't need to be at 90. I can put the quality like, let's say between 50 and 60, it's good enough, and export. And now check this out. If I go on my desktop, I got a folder called customer. In that folder, I got a folder called high resolution with Paris 1, Paris 2, Paris 3. And check this out. Look at the size. 7,360 pixels times 4,912, 22.5 megs. So they're really high definition photos. And low resolution photos, check this out. Now they are like 2,000 by 1335, and look at the size, 384 kilobytes. So this they will use for social media, and this they will use to print, for magazines and things like this. And that's just one of the many ways you can export. Another thing I gotta show you, which is really cool. Now let's say that I'm like, oh, I want to add another photo that I just did. Like, oh, I forgot to add this one or like, let's take this one. So I'm going to right click, export. And instead of doing all that we did before, I can do export with previews. And the problem, okay, there's one problem is that I'm renaming the photo. So it's actually not a good example. I mean, it is a good example. But you see, it's going to put it into low resolution Paris 1 because that's the last export we did. And I can use the option of use unique names. And check this out. What that's going to do is going to, in the low resolution folder, it's going to add one more. And it's going to call it Paris 1 because I was renaming the photo. So let's say you don't want that. You want to keep the original name. You can just right click export. And instead of using export with previews, you click here. We still have the same thing as before. And I can uncheck rename, click export. And now it's going to export that photo in low resolution in that folder, but it's not going to change the name. Check it out. It's still called Lightroom Training. So there's so many options. You have to really explore this. But this is a good introduction to the world of exporting. But so, for example, let's say the last export that I did, remember I didn't rename. I'm like, oh, I really want to add this one too. So I'm going to go export. Or this one I already did. This one. Export with previews. So what it's going to do, if you want to look at it, you can go to export. And you can see it's going to put it into the low resolution file. It's going to compress it at 51%. It's going to resize it at 2000 pixels. So let's say you're like, yeah, but I want to also have the high resolution. Well, you can just go here and go high resolution. I'm not going to rename it. I'm going to go back to 90% and I'm going to take out long edge and click on export. And now if I go back here in high resolution, you're going to see this photo here. And in low resolution, you're going to see this photo here. So this one, check it out, 2000 pixel. And this one is going to be 4000 pixel because this was shot with a Sony A7S. So the export is amazing. I use it all the time because it's so fast, especially export with previews is such a cool option that I use all the time.